Burning bridges is my specialty. Dating dads is my fatality.
I'm a Broadway bear, and I'm here to take center stage. Hello!
I'm Hunter Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear, and welcome to the Real Housebears
Podcast.
That didn't sound like Hunter Harden.
That didn't sound like anybody that I could hear of.
We are so honored and so excited to be with Abe the Babe himself, Abe Lichy, Real House husband of New York. Welcome, Abe.
Thank you guys for having me. The honor is mine. This is, I think I was mentioning, my first Bravo-related podcast, so I'm excited to be here.
We couldn't be more honored to have you here, and especially after last night's episode, we're so excited to talk to you about last night's episode.
So the first question is going to have to be, let's just cut to the chase. Did you agree to be on our podcast because you're looking for a third for you and Erin?
A gay man.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
So actually a few months ago we had the great pleasure of hanging out with Seth Marks of Salt Lake City House Husbands.
And I love Seth.
Oh, he is so great. We really love him too. But he knew right off the bat, like he told us, if he ever were to have a man in the bedroom, it's Brett Favre. Like he had that already. He's been planning this. Maybe you've been searching for it. I don't know. So if any man in the world were to, let's say, come out as bisexual and join you and Erin in the bedroom, who would you hope that would be?
I guess I'd be more into like a masculine type of man.
No.
I'm trying to think of a specific person, but somebody who's like a little scruff, maybe.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I like that. Normally people would be like, I want a more feminine looking guy.
No, but I like it. I support it.
Hey, if I'm gonna go there, I might as well go there. So,
well, Erin has been compared to Jennifer Aniston a lot. How about Jennifer Aniston for that third spot?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that'd be awesome. I would definitely be happy with that.
I would like to see the video of that, as a matter of fact.
We all would.
So I feel like I know that I related to you and Erin a lot last night when you're like, I can't go a year and a half. I can't go a week, much less a year and a half without sex. So now, out of respect to Erin, we won't ask you how often you have sex, but how often do you think a couple should have sex per week?
I think, well, it's one of those things that I think when you're married or in a longer term relationship, there's always going to be this ebb and flow. And so there might be some weeks where you're having sex a couple of times a week. And there might be dry spells of a couple of weeks, a few weeks where you don't have sex. So, I think on average, 1-2 times a week.
Okay.
If you're married.
I
people who say they need to have sex like 3, 4, 5 times a week. Cool, like all power to you. But, realistically, when you're married and you've got kids in the mix, it's not that easy to do that all the time.
Well, since you have 3 kids, is it hard to prioritize like alone time? Do you guys do any kind of like staycations like Jessel and Pavitt did?
Not quite like they did, although it's really hard. I mean, we have trouble just having conversations. I mean, we literally, until they go to bed, we can't get a word in edgewise. So between that and, she's going to social functions, I go to social stuff for work. So it is tough, but we make it a priority to go on dates once a week. So that's kind of where we get to spend time.
Do you have a place that you do like to like get away for like a romantic getaway? Your favorite place to get away together?
We were just in this really cool place, Blackberry Mountain. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh,
it's in Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains. Beautiful. Okay. It's very it's a bunch of lodges. They have, the food's insane. Really good food, really good wine, and you get these golf carts and make the fire, and and then you're doing all this kind of holistic stuff too, like sound bathing and all the hippy dippy shit, which was awesome.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
listen, I grew up in the Smoky Mountains. You can't beat the food from
Oh,
there.
and the view's insane.
Yeah, and especially this time of year in the fall, so many colors. Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
cool area there. So we won't badger you about sex anymore. Let's talk about your work and your hobbies. So you started your own law firm, Lichy Law, and you're now a partner with McLaughlin and Stern.
Yes.
So I also read that your specialty is like intellectual property, copyrights, things like that. You've also done a lot of work with startups. So tell us a little bit just about your journey of starting your own law firm to where you are now with McLaughlin and Stern.
Yeah. So I started my law career out at a large law firm, Casabas Benson Torres and Friedman, doing like fuck you commercial corporate litigation, where it was basically two corporations just going at each other for sport almost. I did that for 6 years, and I remember I was at a music festival with Erin in New Orleans, and I was tripping on acid, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, and I started crying. I was like so emotionally just like torn from it, and she was like, just quit, just do it. So I left, and we started a handbag business, which was a journey in and of itself. Which a lot of people don't know this story, but I did it full time 3 years with her, and like we blew through our life savings, effectively went bankrupt. Got to a place where we had no money. I mean, literally, our car got repossessed. This was 6 or 7 years ago. This like the tail end of it, and so then I had an aha moment. I'm like, let me just start my own law firm. I had been working with a lot of influencers and content creators through the fashion business. And so I just started my firm and went into that kind of law, just kind of taught myself. And so I did my own firm for 5.5 years, I would say. And then a buddy of mine was at McLaughlin and Stern, and he wooed me over. So I'm chair of the IP department here now. So it's been a journey.
I can't imagine how much work that was to
Yeah.
start your own firm. Holy cow. Now, since you do it in social media, what would you say is the biggest mistake that people make, celebrities maybe even make on social media legally?
I mean, I think contractually is like when you're doing these deals and you don't even have a contract, or don't bother to look at the contract. A lot of times brands will ask for a lot as far as how they can use your name, your image, your likeness. And so I think it behooves people to not read these things or hire an attorney, obviously, but you'd be surprised what's in these contracts, because they just have their standard form. And if you're not reading it carefully, you've effectively just signed away like all your rights. And so you need to be really careful with that.
Yeah, it's no longer like your property anymore. I don't guess you've worked with Sai, since that's kind of what she does for a living.
No, I haven't worked with Sai. It's funny. I specifically make it a point to not work with any of the other cast members.
That's smart. That's smart.
Erin's my client, ironically.
Okay.
I mean, not ironic, but she's the only cast member that I would represent.
You couldn't quite get out of that one, huh?
Which makes for an interesting client, because she'll bust my balls.
I don't deny that.
You were CEO of a New York-based fashion company. Tell me a little bit about that. Do you have a passion for fashion?
No, now I hate fashion. I hate the fashion world. No, I don't hate it. I just got so jaded by it. But we had a handbag company, so we were making leather handbags. It was cool. I mean, we were making them in China, and then went to Mexico and Colombia, and then we ultimately, this is before we essentially went bankrupt, but we built our own manufacturing facility in the city, where we had two guys who were, cutting the leather, sewing all the stuff. We had a moment. We had these really cool chokers that were on Taylor Swift, and the Kardashians wore it. And we're like, oh, we made it. And then we didn't make it.
Oh,
it was a very expensive MBA. I got a good degree in business, but it was very costly.
Are there any similarities to working in fashion and working in law?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. I mean, yes, I think that the similarities are in dealing. So what I do with my law practice is I deal with business owners. I mean, I deal with celebrities, content creators. That's one half of it, and then I deal, which also ties into fashion, and then I deal with business owners. And so, having the experience of actually running a business and also failing in business, and then building a new business, which was when I had my own law firm, I think gives me kind of a unique perspective and how to speak to business owners and to understand what they're actually going through and what their needs are, instead of being like, well, here's the contract and here's what you legally need. It's like, okay, well, what do you need? How can I help you get to that point? Because yeah, this might be the right thing you legally need, but there are a few options and what makes the most sense for you. So I like to take a more holistic view on what my clients need.
Making sure everyone's like on the same page and speaking the same language.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a musician. I used to be a choir teacher for 21 years. And so I was really
baritone?
I am now. I used to be a lovely tenor back before age and a unhealthy lifestyle got in the way of that.
I can relate to that.
So I know that you had or have a band with your brothers. I know that you're a DJ. So let's first talk about the Lichy Nuts.
The Lichy Nuts.
Sorry, Lichy Nuts. Sorry about that.
No, not at all. Yeah, we play. My brothers and I all play. We play. We just had a show actually at Stephen Talkhouse in the Hamptons in August, which was our first show in like 6 years. So it's something we do for fun. We have a little studio out in Long Island City, and it's an excuse for us to hang out, get stoned, play trippy jam music. So
we know that you like the Grateful Dead, who
yep.
Play some of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, we cover the Dead. I'm more of a Fish guy. Okay. You guys are in Utah?
Yeah.
Or Colorado? Okay. So I guess Colorado Fish does this show every Labor Day at Dick's, which you guys might find funny, the name of it. But yeah, love playing. Like, I don't like playing 2-3 minute songs. I like playing 15-minute songs that have maybe like 5 words, and the rest is just music, conversational music.
No, Andy Cohen's a big Grateful Dead fan. Have you met Andy Cohen? Have you talked about the Grateful Dead with him?
Yeah, I've met Andy, and the only thing we've talked about, and I'm not exaggerating, is the Dead. So the scope of our conversations in person have only been about the Grateful Dead.
That doesn't surprise me, but that's great.
Yeah.
Now,
I love seeing it, by the way. Like, I love seeing that, because I'm new to the Bravo world. Like, I didn't really watch reality TV before the show. I mean, I'd seen episodes here and there with Erin, but it's not really my jam. And so, we agreed to do this. I was like, well, Andy, he's into that kind of music. So that gave me a little comfort in a weird way.
Yeah.
Because, brothers in arms or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also kind of makes it more relatable.
Yeah, totally.
All the time. It could be a little bit intimidating.
It's funny too, because I just had a conversation. I find there to be a lot of ties between jam bands and reality TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was giving this some thought. It was a random thought, but the whole concept of having the structured parts where there are themes, obviously, but then the stuff in between, like the jamming, is the content that fills it. So the music obviously is music, but even with reality TV, there might be themes as far as what's going on with the storylines, but the stuff in between is all really organic and happens in the moment. And so it's cool because you can't make that stuff up. And so it's kind of a magical thing.
It is very magical. So we were on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and it was so wild to go to filming and just see how real it is.
Oh, you guys were at one of the filmings for it?
So on Salt Lake City, Heather Gay, one of the housewives, she's our friend. And so last season, Heather and I started a choir together, and they filmed it for the show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it was really crazy. Like, people don't want to believe that reality TV is real. And I'm like, yeah, it really is.
It is.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was one of the things that surprised me too, because I didn't know, going into this, I had no idea how it all actually works.
Right.
And it's real. I mean, it's real. And all the shit that you see, the fights and all the stuff in between. I mean, these are real people with real feelings, real issues, real conflicts, real resolutions. And I think a lot of people may not realize that, but I mean, I've seen it now, and it was surprising but refreshing.
I was a lot like you. I did not like reality TV. I especially did not watch the Real Housewives until I met him. And then I just slowly started watching. Then I started watching Vanderpump Rules, and that like was my gateway drug into reality TV. And now we're doing a podcast about it.
Now,
That's funny.
do you play instruments? Do you sing?
Yeah, I play bass. My first love. And I had gone away from it. I played keyboard. Also, I played that for like 15 years. And I recently went back to bass. I just find something about the low end to be so therapeutic, and almost mantra-esque. As far as singing, I mean, I sing. I'm not a good singer. I'm passable,
Okay.
but I'm not anything to write home about.
Well, now I can see a crossover between New York and Salt Lake City. The
Yeah.
choir goes to New York and they play in
I
it.
think it sounds like a great plan.
Well, we could invite Seth and Meredith. So
Yeah.
I actually met them. I had met Meredith before, but I met Seth maybe 2 weeks ago. I was out to dinner with him, Meredith, and Erin. And it was like the end of the dinner. We found out Seth and I had this moment. We both realized we had the same birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
When's your birthday?
Yeah, so 427.
427. I like
Nice.
it. That,
427 bros. But it was very funny. So we get Seth involved too.
that is so funny. We do. We just really love stuff.
Yeah,
He's so sweet.
we met Seth and Meredith at an award ceremony here, and we just fell in love with Seth right away. And we didn't want to like hone in and like fan gaze at him and stuff. So we walked away, and Seth ended up being like, "Bears, where are you? I need a drink."
It sounds on brand. Yeah, he was like he's very easy to get along with. Really cool guy.
He really, really is.
Very
He
easy.
is. So you're also a DJ. You've DJ'd around the world, yeah?
Yeah, once upon a time, pre kids.
Pre-kids. Oh, yeah.
Sort of post first kid at least.
Fair.
Yeah, these things just you need to have a passion. And for me it's funny because people are like, oh, you're trying to be a DJ. I'm like, no, I just like doing it. And I'm not going to be a professional DJ. I don't want that lifestyle, but it's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Even if it's in my bedroom by myself with headphones on. You smoke a joint, just play music for an hour. It's great. Very therapeutic.
Abe, I think we would get along so well.
Very well. Very,
I think we are getting along very well.
Do you have a stage name? Like a DJ? Babe?
So I had many. I was Geppetto at one point, the
Oh.
puppet master controlling the
Yeah.
dance crowd. But now I go by the Esquire
The Esquire.
because I'm a lawyer. So that's my name right now.
You've upgraded.
Yeah. My Erin makes fun of me all the time for my different DJ names. It's like one of those things I've had so many over the course of our marriage.
I'm sure. Some we probably can't say on the podcast.
No.
So you also love fantasy adventure books.
Oh yeah.
I just saw on your Instagram you posted a book recently. Do you have some favorite books, some favorite authors?
Yeah. So I mean, I've read so many of these. I got into it in high school. Wheel of Time. If anybody who is listening to this is trying to get to the genre, it is the best. Robert Jordan wrote it, and Brandon Sanderson finished it. It's 14 books, 800 to 1,000 pages of book. And I read it twice over the years. And I don't know. I like books with like sophisticated systems of magic that are believable. And you're like, oh yeah, I could see how that would work in the real world. And there's also, political and military intrigue, some romance, and just really good world building and character building. I think that's why I like jam music also, which is I like when stories unfold properly as opposed to just really quick sound bites. I like something that's a little bit more epic and you become more related. You invest more in the characters and the storylines.
Oh, I love that. So I guess that doesn't include Harry Potter. That's not very realistic magic.
Yeah. No, my kids think it is. They have the wand and everything. So.
We just got back from Universal Studios, so we've been in a very Harry Potter frame of mind lately.
Yeah, we just got put into our Hogwarts houses while we're there.
My son's begging me to go. Is it good?
Oh, it's
Oh,
amazing.
it's so much fun.
The most exciting
Really?
experience. Yeah, it's a really exciting experience. It's
Nice. I told him if he finishes all the books, he's going to be 9, so he's just getting into reading like these books. So I said, if you finish all the books, I'll take you. So that's good to hear.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
fun.
recommend it. Speaking of your family, do you yourself come from a large family?
I do. So I have 5 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm 40. I've got an older half brother who's my brother, but just for logistical purposes, he's 12 years older, my dad's first marriage. And I've got 4 younger siblings. I've got 2 younger brothers and 2 younger sisters. So between myself and my youngest sister, there's 6 years. So my mom had 5 kids in 6 years, which is kind of
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, she is tired.
Yeah.
All the while managing your dad's business, yeah?
My mom, you mean?
Yeah, that your dad was a radiologist and that your mom kind of managed the business.
Yes. So my mom actually she was a stay-at-home mom. She started managing my dad's business when I went to college. So
Gotcha.
for my years growing up, she took care of us,
Right.
which is why I have so much respect for stay-at-home moms, by the way.
Right.
I think it's such an underappreciated job and role, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I love when I see that.
Yeah.
If that's what people want.
Yeah, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, luckily for me too. Now, so you later in life, your mom and dad worked together. Now I know you are Erin's lawyer. Do you work together professionally other ways?
So we had the handbag line, as you know, which presented its own set of challenges and stresses as a couple. And we are actually working together again. We're launching a mezcal brand. Actually, like in a month, it's coming out. We'll be at BravoCon. Are you guys going to be at BravoCon?
Sadly, no. We're
Not
going to
this
ask
year.
you about
So we're going to have a booth at BravoCon, but we have a mezcal brand. We brought in our third partner though this time for reasons, skill set, but also we're like, it can't just be the 2 of us because we kill each other.
Right.
So one of our mutual, very close friends, Chris, is our third partner. So who's been great to be kind of the center mediator, so to speak, with communications.
When will we be able to buy this mezcal?
November. It'll be on our website for November, and then we're going to start distributing on the East Coast and then expand throughout the country. But you can buy it online. I don't know how it works in Utah. I have to see if Bergen County distributes there, but I'll send you guys a case.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Utah likes to be crazy about their alcohol.
Yeah.
I remember.
So how did you and Erin meet?
We were introduced actually. My cousin, so we're both from the city. You guys might know this or might not, but we're both from the city, from the Upper West Side. She's 4 years younger than, I think 4 years. Yeah, 4 years younger than me. She grew up with my cousin, my first cousin, and my cousin's husband and Erin were best friends growing up. So ironically, it's what's today, the 2nd?
Yes.
So tomorrow is the 3rd, which she probably doesn't remember the date, but somehow I do. October 3rd, 13 years ago, we were introduced. So coming up on the bar mitzvah anniversary of our meeting. But my cousin called me up. She's like, you have to go meet this girl. She's beautiful, like really sweet. And we met at a bar she was surrounded by like 10 guys. They're her friends who now I'm very close with. Yeah, I was single, like in really good shape, crushing the single game. I was not looking for a relationship. And the second we made eye contact, that was it. I told my parents the next day I met the girl I'm going to marry, and we moved quickly. So here we are 13 years later.
Yeah. You guys seem to have a really good relationship and back and forth with each other on the show. So it's nice to hear that you guys really love each other off the show too.
Yeah, we do. It's funny because I know that there's, I read the comments, especially, last night's, which I'm happy to talk about the whole comments in the dinner if you guys want. Fair game to me. But it's funny reading the comments and how disconnected from the reality it is, because Erin and I have a very healthy marriage. And I think when people hear certain comments or certain things, not realizing like that's just part of a healthy marriage where you can be secure enough to be able to make those offhanded, even if they're crass, comments. I think when you're in an unhealthy marriage, that's when it becomes like, I can't say that kind of thing. I can't joke around about that because the other one's going to get so sensitive. Not that Erin loved what I said. Well,
I mean,
she gets my humor.
Ultimately, I think she agreed with you, though. I mean, I think we were all
with
you.
Yeah.
I think we were all
okay, good.
Yeah. No, listen, a year and a half, bye-bye.
It was a real answer. It wasn't a husband answer like, oh, I'm on TV, I have to say this. People really like it when their reality stars are open, forthright with all their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I what I'm gathering, and I also just don't like to bullshit around. So I'm just my dad was the same way, just kind of no filter. Even though I'm a lawyer, but when I come to myself, I have no filter. But yeah, I mean, look, and the thing with the year and a half comment is, like I'm saying, I'm going to cheat on my wife. It's saying, there's obviously a deeper issue if we as a married couple, and I don't speak for anybody else, and this is no shade to, Pavan and Jessel, because I think they're great and they actually have a very cute and I think very loving marriage. But for us, that would mean that there was a bigger issue going on. God forbid my wife was sick. Like, obviously, that's not what I'm talking about. It's like if she just, weren't that into each other anymore. Okay, let's figure out what we're going to do.
Right, for sure.
It's dangerous business reading comments on social media. People on social media are insane and mean.
Oh my God. I do it for a living for my clients, so I'm used to it. And so, I mean, I don't get really affected by them. I kind of, as an objective observer, I mean, not that I don't care, but I don't really care. Just more just curious what people are saying.
Right.
And so, but yeah, people are fucking mean. They're mean and they're just like, it's crazy. And they're doing it with everybody. And I'm like, I just picture these people in their basements, like I don't know.
Yeah, and
then get a life.
I got him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you got me.
I'm not on a level that most people are on, but I do have a big social media following, and I do it for my career as well. And we just posted a video of us getting scared at Universal Studios at the Raptor ride. And there are so many fragile masculine egos out there saying, oh, you guys are just girls. I wouldn't get scared at something like that. I'm just like, it's just somebody having fun, you guys. Like, calm down. But people just cannot handle anybody having any kind of joy in life.
That's what it is. I mean, it's actually really well said. They see people happy. Hey, look, not that we're all happy all the time, because nobody's happy all the time, obviously, but they see that joy and it offends them somehow.
Yeah.
Just like, just chill out. You can have comments on, like, total fair when people have comments on how somebody acted. We're talking about reality TV, how somebody acted towards one another. Go for it. That's the whole point. But then, like, to cross the line and make these nasty comments about the girls, or, I've seen them about me, which I don't care, but, about the girls. And I'm like, that's not cool. Like, you don't know them.
It's just sad.
What gives you the right to be an asshole?
Yeah, it's so sad.
And these accounts are private too, especially on Instagram. Like, they keep their accounts private. You're going to make a comment, like a nasty comment, make your account on private and show your life.
Or they have like 2 pictures and they're scenic pictures. And it's like, okay, you're just a troll.
Yeah, exactly. So
now, kind of off the subject, but speaking of, let's talk about your vows and your ceremony. First of all,
yeah, I know you don't like song lyrics in these speeches.
That's not my thing. That's not my thing. But so for your first wedding, there were actual vows, yes? Just not vows that you wrote, or there were no vows at all?
Good. So yes, good point of clarification. There were, like you say, it was in Hebrew. So it was like the ceremonial vows, but they weren't meaningful vows as far as like our personal vows that we wrote and spoke. So
yeah, that's how
there's a lot of confusion around this, but that's what we meant.
Okay.
So apparently we have the loophole because of the vow renewal thing. So I think we got the loophole to avoid the curse.
I think so too. I think so too.
We'll see.
Did you actually hear the ladies in the back of the room talking?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I know that there was some it's always hard to see what's edited and whatnot, but I could hear them, and whatever. No comment.
Fair enough.
I don't get involved in their stuff.
That room echoed, so
It did echo, to be fair. The room did echo.
But it was beautiful. That was a really beautiful space, and it was decorated. I mean, that was a beautiful ceremony and a beautiful space.
Thank you.
Now, so you didn't watch Housewives before. Have you watched any of the other ones now that you're part of the universe?
I am ashamed to say no. I don't think I've seen. I think I watched like the first 10 minutes of the last Jersey season, but I don't have time for. I just have like so many other things going on that for me, when I do watch TV, I like to watch my nerdy shows.
What are your shows?
Where to begin? Yeah, The Witcher just came out. With you guys like that one?
I do. I love The Witcher.
Yeah, love The Witcher. Henry Cavill might be on my list.
There you
Your
go.
first question. Someone like that.
Yeah, I think he's on everyone's list.
Yeah,
probably. Which ironically, he is a gamer. So I used to play World of Warcraft and like those types of games for years. And I still miss it. But apparently he plays World of Warcraft. And I was like, oh, that guy's the man.
are you watching Castlevania on Netflix?
No, is that good? Should I watch it?
The first 4 seasons are already out, and it's the storyline that I like the most about it. And it is pretty realistic kind of magic stuff and bestiaries, and it comes from real factual places. But the new season just came out just like a couple days ago, but I would highly suggest watching that if you're into that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. I was like recommendations. I like to watch also like a lot of foreign shows. Like I watch a bunch of Turkish shows. The Gift is a great one. Kind of supernatural and Spanish. I mean, I've seen so many different languages. I love watching it in the native language with English subtitles because I feel like you lose the emote of the language in the acting, and it just looks weird when you have the English overdub. Right. And so the way that an Asian language might say something, their affect and their emote is completely different from how we understand it in English, and it doesn't translate. So I always find it interesting and more immersive to do that.
Well, I'm gonna have to be open-minded to that.
Yeah.
What was the conversation like when Erin was like being considered for the show? How did she bring it to you, and how did that conversation go?
I think I'm trying to remember. I remember it. So she was introduced through Lizzie, who obviously is not on the show now, but I remember we were in the car and Lizzie was saying she was moving back to the city, and Erin's in real estate, so she was asking Erin for help finding an apartment, and then was mentioning that they're doing casting, and said recommended Erin, and so I just remember it all happened pretty quickly, and I was on board with it. I was like, this is cool. This could be a cool opportunity. You want to do it, I'm down. And so I don't know. It was like a very just happened type of thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a deep conversation other than are we cool with this or not? And then, what do we not want to show as far as like the kids being on it and that kind of stuff, and just to make sure we're on the same page. But we're both on the same page as far as let's just be ourselves, and people like us, cool. If not, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's smart.
Do you and Erin watch episodes together?
Yeah. I mean, not every. I know last night she abandoned me on my dinner scene episode to watch with Brynn and Jessel, which is totally fine. No, but we watch episodes together. Not all of them, but we've seen probably most of them together at this point.
Oh, that's fun.
It's trippy. It's trippy to watch. It's like it's such a surreal experience. Because that's something either of us have ever done before. So
yeah,
it's weird to see you on TV and the commercial breaks and all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So have you met any of the other house husbands other than Seth?
From the other franchises?
Right.
Not in person. I spoke to Joe Gorga when we first, I think it was before filming or during filming. It was during, and one of the producers from the show connected me with him. I was just curious to get his advice. Like he's kind of a veteran. And he was very gracious. I have to say, he was really sweet and gave me some practical advice and took the time to call me and spend time with me on the phone. And I haven't talked to him since. We're at one point going to do dinner, the four of us, but then I don't know, it just didn't happen. But really sweet guy, and thoughtful.
Do you and David and Pavic get together ever?
Yeah, we got together recently, actually, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had dinner with Brandon, actually, from Jenna's friend, the architect. From
Yeah.
you guys have probably seen it. Brandon's cool as shit. We met at the launch party and just like hit it off immediately.
Oh,
So the four
awesome.
of us went out, had dinner recently, and yeah, we chit chat. I mean, the girls really do their thing, and it's funny. As guys, it's we're like we're there, but no, we're not. It's the housewives. It's just like we're the husbands, and so we try to make it a point to see each other every once in a while and just shoot the shit.
Fun.
Would you and the house husbands ever go on like an ultimate guys trip?
You know how the housewives have the ultimate girls trip? Would you ever go on like a filmed guys trip?
Yeah, I would go. If they paid us though, they have to pay me. It also depends where. If it was somewhere cool, no question. That sounds like fun, actually. That would be interesting.
I think so, especially with the Jersey guys right down the road from you. That would be a lot of fun. Now,
it's just with the New York guys, it's like none of us are like dramatic, so I don't know how entertaining it would be. But
I mean, we just like to watch the guys have fun.
Yeah, that's basically because that's all they do.
That we could do.
Yeah,
that we can do.
Guys have like conflict issues, and it's just like solved within one little conversation. So house husbands don't make the best TV for reality TV, but like how close they get, especially the Jersey guys. They're really close.
Yeah, they seem lit.
What if you got a call for Dancing with the Stars like Mauricio from Beverly Hills? Can you dance?
I'm Cuban, so I'd like to think I can dance a little bit.
There you go.
Okay. Well, maybe
I'm okay. I would love to do something like that though at some point. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I mean, being on the TV, I don't know, but like a dance competition, I think I could get into that.
I would totally tune in. Any final questions from you before we let Abe the Babe go?
No, I think I asked all my questions.
I actually have 2 questions. Has Erin ever really been embarrassed? Has she just lived such a beautiful life that she has no embarrassing moments to talk about?
It's so funny. I gave her such shit for that. She was very self-deprecating. She's like, oh, that was so stupid. I can't believe I said that. Yes, clearly she's had embarrassing stories. That episode and that scene was probably the most embarrassing story now, ironically. No, it's so funny. No, she's definitely had embarrassing things. And I'm sure it'll come out. We'll talk about them because she's like, oh, that was stupid. But yes, she has.
I do have a question. I wanted to know because Erin has, I think, 4 or 5 siblings. Where does she lie in that age group? Is she the oldest, youngest, middle child?
Where do you got? I'll tell you obviously, but where do you got? What do you think?
I have 4 older sisters, and I'm the only boy and the youngest, and so Erin kind of reminds me a lot of my oldest sister. So I feel like she was the oldest sister, but she could be the middle.
She is the oldest.
I knew it. Oh my god. Yeah. So she reminds me so much of my oldest sister.
Yeah, it's her. I love her family. I mean, all her brothers and sister and their significant others are wonderful. But she's got 4 younger siblings. They are technically her half siblings, but they're siblings. She practically raised them. Like, I don't think this is talked about in the show. I'm sure at some point she'll talk about it. But I mean, she practically raised them because her dad got divorced from their mom, and so she, from a young age, was very instrumental in being that figure for them.
That's the same with my sister.
We need to know that for the show. I think that would have been
that's the same with my sister. My sister was 16 years older than me, so she was already ready to leave the house when I was born, so she had to take care of a lot of things. But I always thought about that, and I was right. I am always right.
You are always right.
Wow, if only these conversations, if I could hear that from Erin all the time. You are always right. That'd be wonderful.
Well, Abe, this has been so much fun. I hope that we get to see you in person sometime. Maybe we'll make BravoCon next year.
Yeah.
And hopefully have you back on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like I said, it's my first one, so not too painful. Not painful at
No.
all. It's actually
And
pretty fun. So appreciate it.
good. And we're planning a short-term goal of a trip to New York City, so we'll hit you up.
Yeah, you hit me up because that'd be fun to see you guys, and we'll go out with Erin and maybe some of the girls. I'll tell us. You guys have fans among the
That's
Housewives.
It makes me so
Oh,
happy. I'm
that's
a
incredible.
big fan of a lot of them. I love
Yes.
them all. They're all just such good characters and good humans and just good people. Like right out of the gate, you could just identify with each one in a certain way, and I really like that about this.
Totally.
And we like to talk about it because we love it. Like we love the Housewives. We don't have anything, even like the worst housewife. We're so thankful for what great TV they're bringing us, you know?
Yeah, we pick and
That's what I like about your podcast is that some of these other podcasts are just like just grossly mean type of podcasts. And like I get it, you're trying to get clicks, whatever, but you guys have been very fair, even if it's something that's like negative, but not really. It's just being fair in your kind of analysis of it. So that's why I appreciated what you guys do.
That's what we like to hear.
well, thank you so much for listening to us and stuff, and thanks to Bryn for introducing you to us as well.
And
I'm gonna tell her after this, she'll get a kick out of this.
and
Go
tell your
ahead.
wife to follow us on Instagram.
She doesn't follow you yet?
No, we got Bryn.
I'm gonna have words with her.
Lions. We got you. We don't.
She'll follow. I'll make sure she follows you after this. I'm disappointed, Erin. Very disappointed.
Well, we're still huge fans of hers and of yours. Thanks so much, Abe. This was a great time.
Thank you guys. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.